Before names were written, before theology was codified, there was breath. The name Yahweh, sometimes rendered as Jehovah or Yehovah, holds a secret hidden in plain sound. Break the word down. Yahweh. Yah is the address, the calling out. Hweh is the who sound of exhale itself. This is not coincidence. This is the first theology, written in the body before it was written in books. When God breathed life into Adam, Scripture tells us the divine breath entered lifeless clay. The first thing Adam did when he came to life was he exhaled the breath that had been given to him. And in that exhale he made a sound, hu, the sound of life itself, leaving the lungs. Ironically, the word human itself breaks down to human, the breath sound, the being. We are the who beings, the breath bearers. This is how names are born, from experience. Just as mama comes from the baby's sound for feeding, universal across languages. So too did Adam name God not with abstract theology, but with the sound his body made in its first moment of consciousness. Yahuv, I call to you with the breath you gave me. Every time the name is spoken, that first breath is recreated. This pattern of naming, this gift of breath becoming word, becoming divine connection, starts with Adam. In our quest to understand the divine, we often begin with names. Names hold power. They hold history. They shape our understanding of the world and our place within it. In the ancient traditions that gave us the Bible and the Quran, we find two fundamental names for God that are not the same. They represent two sides of a cosmic reality, like the two poles of a magnet. The first of these is Elah. This name speaks of the origin, the source from which all of creation pours forth. It is the unmanifest potential, the silent, powerful beginning of everything we know and everything we cannot yet see. It is the mystery of where we come from. On the other end of this divine spectrum is the name El. If Elah is the starting point, El is the destination. It is the name for God as the ultimate goal of all existence. It represents the point to which all of creation is returning. Think of it as a great river flowing from a hidden spring. The spring is Elah, the source. The vast ocean it flows into is El, the final union. This distinction is not just a matter of language, it is a profound spiritual map. It tells us that our lives are not a random series of events, but a meaningful journey, a journey from a divine origin, heading toward a divine destination. This concept of origin and destination is fundamental to how we see ourselves. We are not just born into the world. We emerge from a source that is greater than us. We are not just living and dying, we are moving toward a purpose, a final resting place. The name Elah reminds us of our sacred beginnings, the spark of divinity within us. The name El gives us hope and direction, pointing us toward a future where we are reunited with that source. This duality is the foundation of a story that unfolds across generations, a story about humanity's relationship with the divine. Grasping this difference is key to unlocking deeper spiritual truths. The ancient texts do not use these names interchangeably by accident. Each one is chosen carefully to reveal something specific about God's relationship with humanity at that moment. When the story speaks of creation, of power, of the raw force that brings worlds into being, the name Elah is often present. But when the story shifts to guidance, to covenant, to the personal journey of an individual seeking God, the name El appears. It is the name you call upon when you are lost in the desert looking for the way home. It is the name that promises a conclusion to the journey started by Elah. The story of this journey from origin to destination finds a powerful voice in a figure often overlooked, Hagar, descended from Egyptian royalty. She was bound to Sarah by honor and duty as her handmaiden, cast out into the harsh wilderness, alone and desperate. She believed her son, and she herself, would perish. In this moment of absolute despair, at the very edge of life, she has a profound encounter. An angel of God finds her and speaks to her. She is told not to fear. She is told her son will become the father of a great nation. But even before this moment in the desert, Hagar had already received a revelation about the divine name. When she first fled into the wilderness while pregnant, she encountered the angel of the Lord, who told her to return and promised her countless descendants. In that earlier miraculous encounter, something unprecedented occurs. She receives a sacred trust, a divine name to give her son. This is an ismael, the direct gifting of a divine name. God revealed his secret name El. She called him El Roy, which means the God who sees me. And she is told to name her son Ismael, literally, name of El. The usual Hebrew reading becomes God will hear. This reflects conceptual replacement and a loss of the original naming act. This name is incredibly important, its direct connection to Abraham, called Halil, meaning friend of God. Hallel. In her darkest hour, Hagar did not just receive help. She received a name for her son that would forever embed the divine destination, El, into human history. Her son became the living embodiment of the promise that God hears the cries of those journeying back to him. He was the first to carry the name of the destination. This event marks a pivotal moment in spiritual history. Before this, the focus was often on the immense power of Ilah, the Creator, Rabbul Alamin. But with Hagar and Ismael, the story becomes personal. The divine is not just a distant force, but a compassionate God that sees, hears, and guides. Ismael's name became a testament to this truth. It was a sign that no matter how lost one might feel, the journey has a purpose. El is always listening. Hagar's revelation in the desert opened a new chapter in humanity's understanding of God. The importance of Ismael's name cannot be overstated. It established a pattern that would echo throughout the ages. It was a bridge between the abstract idea of a divine destination and the lived experience of a human being. Through her suffering, Hagar was given the honor of revealing this name to the world. Her son's name was not just a label, it was a creed. It was a declaration that the journey through the wilderness of life is not a journey into nothingness. It is a journey toward El, the God who hears, the God who sees, the ultimate home for all souls. The pattern started with Ismael did not end with him. It became a sacred tradition, a way of connecting future generations to the divine destination. Many of the most important figures in the Bible carry a name that includes El. Think of the prophet Samuel, whose name means heard by God, or the prophet Daniel, God is my judge. Even the angels have names that point to this destination, like Gabriel, God is my strength, and Mishael, who is like God. Each name is a story, a personal connection to the journey toward El. These names are like signposts on a long road. They constantly remind the people of their covenant and their purpose. When you say the name Israel, you are saying he who strives toward God. This name was given to Jacob after he wrestled with an angel, another powerful story of a human encountering the divine directly. The entire nation of Israel carries a name that speaks of this intimate, dynamic relationship with the destination, El. The name itself becomes a prayer and a declaration of identity. It reinforces the idea that life is a struggle, a striving, a journey toward God. Every time one of these names is spoken, the legacy of Hagar's revelation is renewed. It is a continuous echo of the promise made in the desert. God hears, God sees, God is the destination. The names are not just historical artifacts, they are active spiritual tools. They connect the person to a lineage of faith, stretching all the way back to that first naming of Ismael. They weave the concept of El into the very fabric of family, culture, and history, ensuring that the path to the destination is never forgotten. The presence of El in these names is a constant guide. This tradition shows us the deep human need to name our destination, to make it real and personal. It is not enough to simply believe in a vague afterlife or a distant creator. The names containing El make the divine relationship immediate and concrete. They declare that God is not just a universal force, but a personal strength, a personal judge, a personal guide. This beautiful tradition of naming is a testament to the power of a single revelation given to a woman in the wilderness, which forever shaped how we speak of our journey home. So, where does this journey of names lead us? From names in history, we turn to language itself. How words preserve or obscure the divine. It leads to a name that unites the two poles of creation into a singularity. Allah. This name is often misunderstood in the West as simply the Arabic word for God. The name Allah is often translated as Al-Elah, the God. But there's something deeper and much more profound than that. The name Allah is a unique contraction of the Arabic Al-Elah. It becomes a compound divine name, a theological synthesis rather than an article plus noun. Elah is the Arabic word for a god or deity, and it shares the same ancient Semitic root as the Hebrew names Elah and El. Seen this way, Allah is not a mere grammatical compound, but a preservation of ancient divine names. Read deeper. The La element preserves Elah, the origin. The Al element preserves El, the destination. It carries within it the echo of both the origin and the destination. When a person says Allah, they invoke the unity, the singularity. Thus Allah holds both toward and from within a single name. They are not just referring to a generic deity, they are speaking a name that contains the entire cosmic cycle. It holds the concept of Elah, the unmanifest source from which all life springs, and it holds the concept of El, the manifest destination to which all life returns. The name itself evokes a singularity and is declaration of unity of Tawheed, the central principle of Islam. It says that the God of creation and the God of revelation are one and the same. The origin and the destination are not two separate things, but two aspects of a single, indivisible, unbroken reality. This is why, for Muslims, the name Allah holds a deeper resonance than the word God. The word God can be made plural, gods, or given a gender, goddess. But Allah is a proper name. It is singular, with no plural and no gender. It represents the ultimate, all-encompassing unity. Saying Allah is an act of remembrance. It is a verbal confirmation of the journey of existence. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. To Allah we belong and to Him we shall return. This famous Quranic phrase perfectly expresses the cycle contained within the name itself. In the end, the names we use for the divine shape our entire spiritual world. The fuller pronunciation Allahu adds Hu, the breath element linking to Yahweh and the divine breath of life. Here, origin, destination, and life breath converge in vocal shape. Terms like God or Tanra are descriptive categories, useful but one-dimensional. It invokes the origin alone. Speaking Allah is different. It invokes the singularity, the compressed divine reality itself. Similarly, Yahweh echoes the first divine breath, the sonic recreation of life entering consciousness. It is an affirmation of our place in the grand cosmic cycle of life, death, and renewal. It connects us to the totality of existence. Every spoken name can reawaken that primal breath. But it's hard not to notice that when broken down, in rough translation, in the word Allah we have to from. It's not from to. Names map the movement of being itself, toward, from, and through breath. Existence may be understood cyclically rather than linearly. Toward and from, zero and emergence. We can set it in 5 movements. 1. Manifestation. Existence in apparent multiplicity. Life unfolds in forms that seem separate. 2. Return to El. The movement toward divine unity, the zeroing of selves. 3. Unity. Complete dissolution into absolute reality. A 0 point where individual identity dissolves. 4. Emergence from Elah. Fresh creation arising from the 0 point, not recycling but new authentic formation. 5. New manifestation. The cycle returns to multiplicity with fresh reality. Each cycle is radical renewal. Breath becomes the continuous invocation. Each exhale a syllable of divine naming. Sufi forms preserve this chanting practice. Allah, Hay, Allahu. Breath and life affirmed. They are chanting the names that contain the entire cosmic cycle, life force, energy flowing through body Allah Hay, from Hayat, meaning life, Allahu, the pure breath sound of divine life. Together they recreate the first conscious exhalation that made us alive. From Hagar's gift to the breath of Adam, names carry the structure of existence, origin, destination, and breath between. Speaking them is participation in the cosmic movement itself. These names are not merely labels, they are the breath that reconnects each moment to the first divine exhalation. Close by, listening to your own breath. Each exhale a hymn, each name a return.